industry internationally. These gentlemen are not just captains of the industry in their own right, but also, most importantly, are voices of the industry and of the gamers in the region. Our objective today is to have a discussion. I'll throw in some of the topics that are the hot topics doing the rounds within the gaming industry. Hopefully, we can start a dialogue, perhaps even a debate. So after that, we'll open the floor for a few Q&A from your side and see how it goes. So let me do the honors by first introducing the gentleman on my right side, author, entrepreneur, founder of numerous gaming development houses and series such as the Tomb Raider. Ian has been fueling the growth of the gaming industry for the last 2 decades. Ian has been recognized for his services to the gaming industry with numerous accolades, and most recently he's been appointed as the commander of the Order of the British Empire just in the year 2013. Interestingly, Ian has been here with us right from the beginning. He was here for the first Games14 convention back in 2008. Thanks a lot for your support all the time, Ian, and welcome here. Thank you very much. Yannick Theler has been with Ubisoft for over 12 years with experience covering all facets of the company from business to operations to production. Has been based out of Switzerland, the office in China, and now here in Abu Dhabi. Yannick heads the Abu Dhabi development studio currently and works closely with the 2454 initiative, and we're really pleased to have you over here, Yannick. And if Ian Livingstone has been seeing the gaming industry grow in the Western world, we have our very own Ahmed Al Nasheet over here, who's been tracking that growth from the local region, an avid gamer, manager of one of the biggest gaming communities in the region. Aman has seen the gaming industry grow in the region, not just as a journalist, but first time as a gamer. Really proud to have you over here, and thanks for making time. So the first topic that we want to talk about is diversity. Video games has become mainstream media, and as with every medium, there is an onus and responsibility to represent the vast consumer base that it's got, and gaming is consumed by a vast demographic across the world. And so the question is, how is diversity represented within the gaming industry? But before we even go there, Ian, the question I want to throw at you is, how do you even define diversity? What are the parameters to define diversity for a video game?
I think for me, the
Is it about giving people a voice?
Yeah, I'm going to have to hold it here like this. I'm going to have to hold it like this. So I was
Sure.
And the games industry is becoming more and more diverse, but you have to put it into context. You imagine the film, compared to the film industry, we're really only in the 1930s. So the games industry started off with guys making content for guys. But as the industry has grown, women are now enjoying games, and male, female, young and old, everybody's enjoying games. So you have to bring more diversity into the production of games to reflect the enjoyment by everybody in playing games. So diversity has to represent cultures, has to represent more than just the narrow content with which it originally started, because games is now a genuine art form. It's culturally, socially and economically important. It's the largest entertainment industry in the world, with $90 billion a year in global revenues. It's moved out of the bedroom to become mass market entertainment. Grand Theft Auto 5, the largest entertainment brand ever in any medium, it generated $1 billion in 3 days. So with that growth comes responsibility, and I think the games industry is a responsible industry and is reflecting its content by getting more women and more people from different ethnic backgrounds and different divergent cultural impact in the creativity of games. I think it's really important.
And Yannick, your studio in Abu Dhabi has been established established with a very specific mandate, and that is to represent that diversity by creating games that cater to the region and are from the region. Can you share us insight what led to that decision to set up that studio over here, and why was it considered important in Ubisoft?
Well, for Ubisoft, what is important, and I would say not only here, but in all the 29 different places that we have production center, the diversity, again, to use that word, it's important because creativity comes with the diversity of people that you can get in each studios and each different kind of job that we have in the production. And here in the Middle East, having such a huge diversity of people living here, coming here, sharing the same vision, for us was a very important place to come, to be the first one as well, because as an international studio, we are the first one who took the risk as well, because nobody was here before. And another diversity and risk as well for us, but I would say a challenge. I would say it's a challenge, and it's to create the industry here, because the population is young and love that kind of media, but they did not have that chance to work and to have a job in that media. That's what we try to do here. Dhabi now we're close to 50 people after 3 years, 20 different nationalities already, and 75% of the people coming from the region. And for us it's very important. We try to create jobs here and try to teach how to create good games. And diversity for us is one of the main pillars.
Right. Ahmed, we have games like Forza Motorsport 5, which has got the Yasmin circuit over here. But truth be told, the fact of the matter is, the Arab youth are as much exposed over here to Breaking Bad and Iron Man as they are to Arabic soap operas and Arab Idol. So in that context, what are the expectations from the Arab gamer? When does diversity become tokenism, and when is it really appreciated and valued by them?
I think the gamers here really want the games to be localized. So you have Ubisoft, for example, they localized Assassin's Creed, and yesterday they announced that they're going to localize the crew. And that's what they want. They want games to be localized. Sorry for that. They want games to be localized, they want games that they understand, they want games that will offend them. So for example, when you localize a game like, let's say Destiny, or a game like Halo, they will want something, to offend the gamers here. So you have to localize the game that sense. So I think the gamers want games that talk to them. For example, Tekken, some just announced that they're going to have a Saudi character. And for the first time, we're going to have a real Arabic character. You can't hear me?
Yeah, that's
all right.
That's better.
That's better? All right.
So can you just say that again for the last time?
All right. So for the first time, Tekken announced that they're going to add a Saudi character in the game. So the last Tekken, they added a level, and the Saudi community stood by them and started telling them that they want more and more and more. And by now, they're going to add more characters that talk to the gamers in our region.
Ian, I'm going to come back to you and refer to Tomb Raider. The gaming industry is grown by leaps and bounds, but one thing that we see quite amiss is lead characters, female lead characters. And you were one of those pioneers who looked at Tomb Raider, developed that, and we had a character like Lara Croft, incredibly popular. What was the thinking behind that? Was the expectation that it's going to grow that big, and why was that decision made in the first place?
Well, Tomb Raider was one game that came out of the launch of the consoles in the home. And before that, the 32-bit market had side-scrolling games where the characters move sideways across the screen. And here's a character, with the coming consoles, this has been the games with the 3D character moving to 3D world. Now, I can't claim to have created Lara Croft. That was down to the genius of Toby Gard, an artist at Crystal Dynamics. And he'd seen the rise of girl power, Nina Cherry, women were doing for themselves. And the studio that designed Tomb Raider already had a game called Rick Dangerous, which was a tomb raiding style of game, and exploration, finding treasure, defeating creatures. And it was Toby's idea to sort of catch the moment and say, well, if it's going to be young teenagers who are going to buy these new consoles, and there's going to be a third-person character running into the screen, why not have a female character? So it was his genius idea, and we ran with that, to have a female character. Now, Lara Croft, of course, has survived the test of time in the same way that James Bond has. But it wasn't just a female character that made Tomb Raider the game it was. It was great technology, fantastic graphics. It had all the kind of planets aligned, and it turned out to be a spectacular success. We didn't actually know how well it's going to do. I think we had about 50,000 units in the budget, and we think we sold over 7 million copies of Tomb Raider 1. So it's a very nice problem to have.
Indeed. Talking about game development, Yannick, as we all know, Ubisoft has played a key role in bringing some great titles for us. Franchises like Assassin's Creed has developed almost a cult following. However, game development is not a low-cost job. So the question is, what actually goes into developing a new franchise? Right from resources to creativity over there, because that's always the question that is posed, is why can't we have more games? So can you give us some insight from behind the curtain as to what actually goes behind creating a brand new franchise from scratch, like only what you're doing with Far Cry now?
It's a very difficult, complex process. I mean, often you need, I'm not a creative director, but I'm working with that guys. You need to have a mission first. You need to, I know what we have done in Abu Dhabi, for example, or the game we created in Shanghai. You start with some white pages, and Ubisoft asks you to pitch about the new brand, and you have to start about in which direction you want to go, what kind of game you want to develop, and after that, when you start thinking about a new character, for example, what will be the strength for this character, you need to do a lot of research about the history, maybe, because it depends on which setting you want the game to be played, and sometimes some team they go in different places. I know you speak about Far Cry. Now speaking about the Shangri-La region in China, the development team they went to Shangri-La for a couple of weeks. They took a lot of pictures. They speak with a lot of people in order to feel the region and to see how the region is, and to try to import that into the game. Because what is important after when you develop a brand, you want to try to immerse the player into that universe. And in order to immerse the player, you have to understand this place, or the character, or the movement. It's a very complex process. It takes time. It takes sometimes many iterations. Far Cry, the previous one, it took a long time, because sometimes you just need to throw everything away. Because you see that maybe the story doesn't work, you have to develop the character differently. You try the prototype with some players as well, and you feel that, okay, that's not exactly what they want, and you need to restart again. Sometimes you need to throw away everything, even the brand that you found, and you need to start again. And that's why maybe you don't have like 15, 20 new IPs coming out on the market every year. It takes years, time, iterations as well, because it's an experience. And you cannot start with a fresh new team without experience.
True, and that's a question most people are asking themselves, why can't we get more games? So thanks for that insight. Ahmed, as a gamer, as we have approached this cusp of this transition between 360 and Xbox One, PS3 and PS4, there's always the question, so what does the next generation of gaming bring us? And we've now seen a healthy mix of franchises that are older, but new iterations of them. So we've got the likes of Halo and Forza and FIFA and Call of Duty going strong, but with new versions of them for the next generation of console. On the other hand, you've also seen new IPs like Titanfall, Destiny, Watch Dogs, Sunset Overdrive coming. Do you think the balance is right? As a gamer, they want to get rid of the old franchises altogether and just invest in the new, or they would much rather have be able to see how the older franchises are relooked, remastered, and rediscovered on a new generation console?
I think it's a mixture of everything. So the gamers want games for the current generation and games for the next generation. What defines the next generation is not only the graphics, it's the new experience that you have. It's the new experience that you have, just like Far Cry. Far Cry reshaped the whole series with the new engine, the new graphics, and Shangri-La. The same thing with Assassin's Creed, the same thing now that we're going to see with Call of Duty. But still, you need to have a mixture of everything. And to have new IPs, it's going to cost a lot of money. Creating Destiny costs $500 million just to create one game. And it's supposed that I don't think all the companies want to take. It's a risk. It's either gonna succeed or it might fail. So I think what defines the next generation is not only the graphics or the experience, is what will be different. What will be different? Is it the same experience that you had on Xbox 360 just transferred to Xbox One, or it's a new game, it's a new idea? So the new idea is the new next generation.
That's an interesting point that you made there. I mean, we can look at it as a double-edged sword. The example that you mentioned about Destiny. Ian, somebody like you who's been associated with both big blockbusters like Tomb Raider, and now the majority of your work on the mobile gaming platform, two completely different mediums. How do you see this new threshold that we've got of getting a new IP there? That threshold is rising higher and higher. Do you think that's a self-created threshold, or is it demand from the consumers? What's your take on that?
Well, console games is a mature marketplace, and the cost of entry is prohibitive for new entrants to come in. As you just mentioned, it's $500 million to make Destiny, Grand Theft Auto, the last iteration, probably $300 million. And therefore, the rich are getting richer. It's very difficult or expensive to launch new IP. On the other hand, there's an incredible opportunity on PC downloads, and particularly mobile, for new players to bring new ways of playing, new games and different completely art style and art form to market at a very low cost relative to console games. So we've now got something like 2 million apps on the app stores, but for every Angry Birds, of course, there's probably 20,000 dead birds, because it's all about user acquisition. There's a whole new challenge in the app space. But that remains a very exciting place, because small teams can get their content to a global audience, put it in front of a marketplace without having to go through the traditional gatekeepers, and see whether or not that resonates, and they can find an audience. So small teams can still be successful, whether it's Flappy Birds from the viral hit, or games like Clash of Clans and Candy Crush Saga, and a couple of games I've been associated with recently, launching very soon, Plunder Pirates and Venice Life and Playdemon. There's an extraordinary opportunity on the mobile space, and that's not available in the console space.
Indeed, and it's about finding that niche for each one. Talking about gaming in the Middle East, Ahmed, question to you is, what typifies a gamer in the region? What are the particular genres that a gamer in the region has a strong appeal to? And has that changed? Have you seen that evolve over the years?
Since the start, they've playing FIFA, soccer, so it's much older racing games, but you still need to recover. It's not okay, like that? Okay. So since the start, gamers in our region, we're only focusing on football games, so FIFA, Pro Evolution Soccer, and Winning 11. After that, they changed and went to racing games, Driver, and Forza. And now we see that gamers switch from that to Minecraft. Talking about Minecraft, you can see the switch on YouTube. The YouTubers who used to upload videos talking about Call of Duty, FIFA, Pro Evolution Soccer, and all these games, switched and went to Minecraft. And I think with Minecraft, the whole community changed, and now we see gamers try to experience other games, other genres. And we've seen that with games like Tomb Raider, movie localized to Arabic. We've seen a lot of players upload videos, talk about Tomb Raider, play Tomb Raider, do walkthroughs, and that's interesting to see. So the gamers changed from being only focusing on football and racing to something else.
And Yannick, a big part of the success of your studio is securing, nurturing, and retaining talent from the region, or at least available in the region. How has that experience been? Because without that, gaming in the Middle East would be poorer in that sense. Has that been a challenge, and how do you get to that challenge?
Okay, then I will again use the word opportunity for me when I came here. Just simple to summarize, December 2011, I arrived in Abu Dhabi. Today, 50 people in the studio. Nobody used to work together. People coming from 20 different countries. A team who did not know each other. No HR, nothing. I mean, everything by scratch. Till last May when we which fortunately for us goes very well. It's an amazing journey. I'm very happy and proud of what the team has done. But it was a lot of job. To create a game, but I would say to create a team spirit, and to make people understand each other as well. When you have such a big diversity, what we were speaking before, we have to find a way that the people could understand each other, work together, understand. Everybody has different English accent, for example. They have different culture, and it was very interesting in the management point of view, way to develop. The team, the studio, the teamwork, the attitude, and of course to try to find people from the region. The people that we took from the region, most of them, they never developed a video game. It was the first time for them as well that we had to have people, mainly our leads, who were coming from Ubisoft, from different studios, who have that mission, that I give them that mission as a lead. Here we need to work a lot on mentoring. We cannot have just giving the job to the people without following them. It's a lot of job. Mentoring, following, teaching, iterating, and sometimes iterating many times.
Do you see a talent crunch in the region, or do you find talent readily available, or is it something that we need to develop?
We need to develop. For example, the artistic team, I'd say 90% of the people they are big guys, but they never develop games. That they have that passion, they have that expertise that we can utilize, and we need to nurture them and to develop them toward the video game. But we need programmers, but as we did not have any studio before, of course that guys never develop games. That will take time. That's what we do. We take time, and it will take a little bit more time to develop games, but that's the direction for success, and having people from the region here. We have a partnership with 2454, you mentioned 2454, we have an academy, it's called 2454 Dvlzgame. They have different academies. They have one academy for animators and one academy that we are partnering with them for game designer and level designer. Then that guys, they have a 16-month courses about video games, about how to develop design, or level design, game design. They can integrate those to you after, if they are good enough. It's a channel of recruitment for us. Yes. But it will take time, years, but we're already half of our objective. The objective is to have a studio of 100 people. We're already 50. Yes.
And you've been championing the industry for quite a few years, even to government bodies, and you've been a great believer of that the youth shouldn't just be consumers of video games, but they should also be creators of video games. As Microsoft, you're going to be launching a game, Project Spark, it's a game about making games. What do you think? Do you think a title like this will help fuel the passion to make games? And what would your advice be as to how this kind of change can be brought about at a grassroots level?
Well, to your point, yes, you've got to get children particularly to understand that it's not just about consumption, it's about creativity. And I think games like Minecraft also demonstrate that ability to actually make things happen within a game. But what then, of course, require are the right skills and an environment in which games development flourishes. Now, I've lobbied for many years to the UK government to say that we have to bring down costs and get the studios access to finance, at the same time provide them with the right skills to be able to make the games. So in terms of making games, you need to have more computer programmers. Now, I lobbied and wrote a review called Next Gen, which was published in 2011, which made 20 recommendations to government, industry, and the public about turning children from being consumers to creators. Now, the ICT curriculum that exists in English schools is largely teaching children effectively how to use technology, but gave them no insight how to create their own technology. So I'll check top of our recommendations for to put computer science into the national curriculum as an essential discipline. And because at the moment, just learning Word, PowerPoint, Excel is useful, but it's never going to give you a career in making video games. So what we need is programmers, artists, and animators. So I'm delighted that the English government, Michael Gove, who was Secretary of State for Education until recently, took on board our recommendations and disapplied the ICT curriculum and introduced a new curriculum that had computing at its heart. So computer science is now in the curriculum. So I would say computer science is the new Latin because it underpins the digital world in which children find themselves. And this is not just about video games, it's all creative and digital industries has become exponentially more reliant on technology. Children have to have an understanding how to operate and and to guide their own path in a digital world. So to get kids coding is the first step, but we also need designers, great artists, animators. So anything the government here can do to make that happen, creative technology, of course, programming and games design will be a good thing for the region, and then you'll get more diversity in the creation of content here and set up more studios to enable Yannick to make his dreams come true. So it's all about good skills and an environment in which creativity can flourish.
Finally, about gaming platforms, last topic of the day. You remember the days of Atari, and my first memory is playing arcade games, Street Fighter on that, and now we've got PS4 and Xbox One out there. So and well, the mobile gaming is exploding also. What, in your opinion, are the key mega trends that you're seeing right now from a gaming platform perspective?
What I find most exciting about the games industry is the only industry that is constantly evolving because of advances in technology. If we see the progress of the industry in a relative short period of time, it's been extraordinary. From Pong, which was one pixel moving across the screen not that many years ago, to these now interactive cinematic Hollywood experiences that you can find on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. And so there's opportunity and challenges on every turn for our industry. So you've seen now the rise of mobile gaming in particular. Now this is not the expensive console gaming, it's additive. So people who didn't think they were gamers are now able to play games on their smartphones and their tablets because of swipe technology. Just a simple swipe of the finger and they become a games player. So a whole new raft of content is being created for young people, old people, males and females, in accessing these fantastic markets. Games like Candy Crush Saga and Clash of Clans generating over $1 billion a day. At the same time, these incredible cinematic experiences from consoles are still driving and leading the way in technology advancement. And so you get new opportunities. Of course, everyone's talking about virtual reality now and Oculus Rift, saying it's the future. I think it's certainly a future. It won't be the future because there's so many other things happening elsewhere. All I do know is it's growing at an extraordinary rate, and I believe that every person in the world will be playing games of some sort on some device in the not too distant future.
In the recent report from Euromonitor for UAE actually showed that 33% of the population in the UAE play games on one side or the other. So that seems to be the trend. Gaming is getting a lot more ubiquitous as we go on. Ahmed, from your side, the question that I had was, there's a lot of talk and anticipation about the next generation of gaming, and now we're here. And it's something people have been waiting for a lot of time. But it seems to me that when we talk about next-gen gaming, high-level graphics is what dominates the conversation. So the question is, how do you define the next generation of gaming? Is it new experiences? Is it digital games? Is the console's ability to do everything and all in one kind of a console? Or are graphics the be-all and end-all?
Talking about next generation, it's not only about games, it's about the applications inside the console. For example, seeing Twitch inside your console, being able to live stream and share your experience with all the gamers around. And we're just talking about that gamers now don't only want to play games, they want to see other people play games and want to experience and see their view.
Exactly, for the first time it's become a spectator
sport. And we've seen that with esports, with Call of Duty, with Halo. And we're going to see that develop with the next generation. And I think next generation is not only about AAA games, it's about mobile, it's also about indie games. So we have Xbox ID, which support all indie gamers. And we've seen that with Minecraft, we've seen that with a lot of games at E3 and Gamescom. I'm sure we're going to see that here at Gamescom.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, that just about wraps it up for us. Thank you very much again. Thanks a lot, Yannick. Thanks, Ahmed. Thanks for coming over and sharing your views here.